any of those two cores have to be sacrificed, it just feels like a pretty tough game for either one to recover, considering how much farm they need.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game number 2. Of course, RSG 1 game away from being able to proceed through the lower bracket once again into the lower bracket semi-final. XERXIA, they need to pull off this game 2 victory to try and force it to a best of 1 game number 3. Let's see if these predictions work this time around. John, do you want to go for this one?
Yeah, which team will win? RSG, and I'm not allowed. I'll say RSG. Well, I like their draft a little bit more.
I would still. So what happened last game? I should have told you, John. Is it tells you there's an error, but it still counts it. So just just select them, and it'll give you an error, but it does count at the end.
All right. Total number of trees destroyed by 30 minutes. This almost always goes 301 with Batrider and Pangolier. That should be an easy clear. First player to get 50 last hits. I kind of want to say MKS. He's going to have a pretty decent time, although it could be a bit tougher. Maybe it's safer to say Ken, actually, there. Player with highest net worth at game, and I want to say MKS on that one for sure. So there you go.
Okay. Thank you for that, John. Very, very good predictions there. So we do have a bit of a scuffle in the mid lane. XELearn kind of giving it over to Ken with the harassment. Now just going to back their way out, though. Bounty runes. Last time around, I believe RSG got away with 3 of them. This game around, it's going to be the same story. 3 for 1.
Just really forcing their bodies forward and getting themselves this good start. It is, by the way, Ken is playing the mid TA, so we aren't seeing something like JG mid faces Void, which I want to see because back in the days when XERXIA was under UDV, JG would run some fun Timbersaw mids, right? And he'd do some weird stuff like that. So would have wanted to see him try Void mid, but it does make sense. TA matchup against Puck isn't the worst thing in the world. Very well protected by Refraction. Early levels are better for XELearn, but as the game goes on, Ken shouldn't be zoned out too hard. Rune control a little bit easier for XELearn here as well. You will want some mid rotations much more in RSG. Like we saw that emphasis out from XERXIA to slow down XELearn. This time, you gotta slow down Ken. If this guy does farm, I mean, this TA and Void is a really potent combination from the side of XERXIA.
It certainly is, and we've seen Ken play TA many, many times, and he does tend to perform extremely well on this hero. So let's have a look at the bot lane. You are going to have MKS and Roger against Rupido and Lucify. Well, we've seen this lane before, John. I think it's going to be pretty easy for you to give some analysis on this one.
Yeah, I mean, same lane in game 1. Roger just zoning them out in the early levels, softening up these two heroes. They will not enjoy trading against Roger. Roger already has the early magic stick, no mangoes, but the burst mana and healing on hand is more than enough. And there's just so much space for MKS again. Like, he's just allowed to pretty much farm up. Maybe not as much yet, but certainly not being slowed down at all by Rupido and by Lucify. And there was play coming out from Rupido, but that was only when he had the lasso. Until that point, unless he can somehow chain stun MKS up close, he's just going to have a good time here.
Absolutely. What about that top lane? You're going to have Zhao Yu on the Pango. He's going to be there with Zhao Bonbon, this time on the Sapphire against JG on the Void and Teehee on the Pos 5 Gyrocopter. Who wins out this lane, John? Should it go the way of XERXIA? Do you think RSG wins this one out?
I think this one should pretty much be an even farming lane. There's some aggression you'd want to get out with the Gyrocopter support for sure. They are trying to go onto Zhao Bonbon. There is good damage. Jar's early damage is high, but you're relying on some bashes out from JG, although.
He's getting very low now. Rocket Barrage is there. Teehee so close, but he can't get the right click. Oh, the shield crash slow. Not going to allow it, and now the turnaround with the Scatter Blast is not going to connect, and it is not going to cancel the salve off. Zhao Bonbon barely able to walk out of there alive. And first blood is yet to be drawn here between these two teams, though Teehee is going to spot out the Snapfire once again. Will go for a homing missile, has the mangoes, but the little shredder, he'll find a courier. He will still maybe go down. Zhao Bonbon on the run, it will die. Teehee, he does eventually find the kill.
Yeah, that's a lot of back and forth, and that is the aggression you want to see from the support Gyro. So overall, you're pretty happy here on XERXIA, and losing the courier is pretty damn annoying for Teehee, of course. Like, you need the mana to play in this lane. Once you're out, once these mangoes run out, Zhao Bonbon and Zhao Yu can do what they want to here. At the very least, JG does have a value point in the time dilation, so when you do commit on RSG's end, there's still turn potential with the slows and the stuns coming out. But with no lucky batches for JG, Xiao Bonbon's just fine copying the hits. Xiao Yu, he's having a good time building up. He is a bit behind, and JG is still finding farm. So the lanes are still going pretty well for XERXIA, rather even back and forth. I think the only outlier really is bot. Rupido is just not able to farm up as much as you'd want in the bat.
It's mid lane. Looking back at it, John, going very well for Ken here on this TA as well. Kind of to be expected. Mind you, XERXIA only 1 CS behind the puck, so not having too bad of a time himself. No stacks being made either. Well, there are large camp stacks being made, at least in that dire triangle. There's something for the TA. Kind of wonder if Rupido's going to want to take them, though, depending on his own lane. Rupido's only got 9 CS in that Batrider at the moment. Trying to get a little bit aggressive here against MKS's Morphling, but doesn't want to dive too deep, especially against that Tombstone of Roger. Very, very intimidating here against the Undying. Seeing what does happen when you try to get aggressive, though. Rupido is going to try Roger. He'll drop the Tombstone. Visual will be there, but Roger is still very safe with his Tombstone, as MKS now will get aggressive against Lucify, and the zombies, they will just keep chasing him down and take him out. Rupido, he is going to run. He knows he can't really salvage the situation. Maybe now he could try to find Roger, but MKS is still around to help out, and Roger, he still has decays going on. He still has a Soul Rip as well. MKS, he does not care. He will continue being aggressive, trying to bait Rupido forward, but there's your Soul Rip. Rupido, you have gone too far. He will get stunned up. Do they have the follow-up MKS? He has Adaptive Strike, but he doesn't have the range for it. Oh, this Batrider really playing on the edge. Is barely going to survive through this. Roger is still on the chase, though, on the Undying. He could try for a Soul Rip Decay. Rupido, is he going to back? He will be fine. He's going to make it.
That's still some good zoning coming out from Roger. Going to force the reset out from Rupido. He does have the TP ready back in lane, but this is pretty much 2 waves for free for MKS now. He is, again, lagging a little bit behind in comparison to JG, but that room, that space, if it keeps building up in this game, you start to worry. Xiao Yu not being able to zone out JG at all. This Faceless Void is building up. They're back to focusing on mid. All the supports from RSG just ensuring XERXIA will have something to play with. Again, he gets unlucky with power runes, though.
Triangle under siege. Xiao Bonbon trying to fight Teehee, but the Gyrocopter +5 with that level 2 rocket barrage. Way too much damage on him. 1-1. Very slight net worth lead the way of RSG. So you look at the cause of XERXIA, they're having a very good time so far. JG and of course Ken both top the CS board right now on that TA and Void. To be expected, I suppose, and you'll start seeing Ken now taking stacks away on the TA. Having a good game like you mentioned earlier, John, and this is something that RSG needed to be very cautious of. With these 2 cores, they have
Chrono.
great scaling, and Chrono, top lane, who have they got? It's going to be Xiao Yu. Another great setup here from XERXIA. Teehee giving the tip over to JG, and that's a big one, finding the kill into Xiao Yu.
I'm just slowing down this Pango in a big way. Again, Xiao Yu has been left in the solo lane. He's not able to hold back the Faceless Void alone on that Pangolier. Doesn't even have a value point in the Lucky Shot. Just wants to keep clearing out the wave with a Swash and a Shield Crash and try to trade. That is giving a lot of room out for JG just to find that farm. Already far ahead early on, especially in comparison to MKS. And for RSG, they're just looking mid once again. They drag Xiao Yu down here to help XERXIA. I don't know if they really have the angle to kill. They don't have the roll, which means they lack a lot of stun. This lineup severely lacking disables outside of the roll and the Dream Coil. Like, you only really have Cookie beyond that. Maybe the Adaptive Strike if you really want to count the Morph. But you're not going to see MKS join in this mid clump up anytime soon.
XERXIA, actually the deny. Teehee, he does get the deny off on the invis. Almost looked like XERXIA was going to be able to pick it up with that Waning Rift, but not quite. It's a nice little deny off, not allowing the invis rune to go the way of the puck. So far, Teehee having quite a bit of impact on this position 5 gyro, just being very annoying. A real nuisance. His mid lane a bit of a group up now against Ken, but Ken does back off at the right moment. The traps do give plenty of vision for him to know exactly where RSG are. In fact, Ken now moving down towards the south, wants to try and set up. They have found the Undying. Roger, how much time can he buy himself? He'll drop the tombstone. Fisher is out on 2. Roger, he is going to melt. Another nice pickup from XERXIA. And with the trap vision, they can even try for this tombstone. Though a nice deny off here on the observer ward from Xiao Bonbon, and now the Dream Coil is committed by XE but there's no follow-up. You don't have anything like the Mortimer's Kisses yet to come out from the Snapfire, so Coil kind of just wasted.
Yeah, and Xiao Yu's also trying to roll around up top, misses on an opportunity to try to go onto JG. It's hard to catch out the Void with the Time Walk so far up. And Xiao Yu maybe just trying to be a bit defensive, dodging out any lucky bashes there. Ken, I mean, he's allowed to clear out all these stacks that XERXIA has managed to build up without something like the Nyx being active for them. They're not able to scout around. They're not able to stop this farm.
Mid lane, Xiao Bonbon. Ken gonna be chased down. XE he's there. Ken, he's still got the refraction, but in comes MKS. How do you lock him down though? Coil's still not up. Roger, he'll get cookied in, but what is this team fight? Roger, he'll try to run towards the north. Fisher's out here from MKS, but this is a very desperate fight. At least Roger will get a bounty room before he's gonna die here to Rupido. And without the Coil, to force that fight, it's wishful thinking from RSG.
Yeah, it certainly is. JG, he's got Chrono ready if he wants to use that to bail out here, being surrounded just a bit.
There's your Coil. He's caught 3 of them, but the cookie was there to stun him up, and now Xiao Yu. Coil is there. This time it will land, and that's a nice one. JG, he's going to try to run. Time Walk away. Xiao Yu thinks about the Rolling Thunder, but just can't. And now Rupido, he's really given it to the side of RSG. It's another foiled attempt at trying to pick off somebody from XERXIA. And it just feels like they're giving up so much for this.
Yeah, they're giving out a lot of room towards XERXIA, allowing this farm. We talked about how greedy it can be to run a Faceless Void and TA. It's not an issue so far for the side of XERXIA. RSG going for a smoke play. They do have that roll and the kisses ready on Xiao Bonbon. You just need to find a big target here.
Thunder, Xiao Yu looking to roll up. We'll see the Batrider. Rupido. There's the Mortimer's Kisses out. He'll be locked down permanently, so the Batrider is going to drop. It's something. Nice pick up there onto the Bat. Rupido probably not going to be too happy with that. Still, XERXIA, they'll allow their TA Void to farm. So I suppose at the end of the day, as long as Ken and JG, as long as they're hitting creeps, they'll be happy. MKS is much further behind right now in the Morphling anyways, so they are well and truly ahead. XERXIA just have to be very cautious not to give a full team wipe away or a big team fight away. Back the way of RSG. They'll be just having happy days as long as they can keep hitting creeps.
Yeah, as long as they can keep slowly building up. You already have this Mask of Madness out on JG here. So more damage to come out in the Chrono. Not going for the greedier Midas build-up. Having to share farm with Ken. He understands that someone's got to be a bit more active. XLearn finally gets a power rune this game as well. Has the haste. See if he finds something. Dream Coil's ready.
Slow it up. Can they get something from this Coil? A nice Fisher. It's going to block them off. Still waning Rift forward, but Ken is still alive and still walking away. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu ends up dropping to Rupido, and now they've got Roger. In goes Tihi. He wants Xiao Bonbon. Cookie away is there, or rather Tumblr's toy away. But XERXIA, they're onto the mid-tier 1 tower again, and it's another Dream Coil that amounts to nothing.
It's just a great angle coming out from Lucify to cut the rest of the team off, and he managed to isolate some good heroes. Power Rune finally coming out for XLearn, and just not being able to do anything with it. It feels pretty bad for RSG. XERXIA having a really fantastic time here. I mean, this build-up on Ken, he's working onto the Desolator already. He has the Dragonlance, feeling great on that TA. JG just wanting the Maelstrom for even more presence out in the Chrono and a little bit more farming speed for himself as well. Although it looks like he might opt for the BKB first with the Ogre Axe coming through. So probably just going on the defensive, being that front line for the team. RSG, they're getting decent farm on MKS. but their activity's just not lining up, and they are so constrained by these cooldowns. Like, they've got to wait for the roll, they've got to wait for the dream coil, they need to wait for the kisses. All of that is up, and they will go for a smoke here.
Absolutely. XERXIA in the triangle. Lucify, great smoke break from the Earthshaker. That'll buy Ken a bit of space to try and remove himself, but the Dream Coil is there, and this time they've got the kisses, so they've got the combo. This is what they've been waiting for. Ken, perma-stunned up is going to drop. RSG, they'll find something, but now the lasso, they'll try to turn. Chrono's up, it's caught two of them. There's your puck gone, onto Xiao Yu. JG, looking for the better trade, might just find it. Xiao Yu, oh, he'll get bashed up. First hit bash, no TP for you, sir. And still a better trade once again for XERXIA.
They just find big kills and punish that movement out from RSG. It's RSG trying to get the initiative there. And they do get a good angle out from Xiao Yu this time around. Dream Coil only onto one to just guarantee that kill on Ken. I mean, Ken is still a much bigger kill to find, to be fair. And overall, your network swing is slightly in your favor here for RSG, but it's not clean. Like, XERXIA still finds more. They kind of nullify the ganks coming out from RSG. And for RSG, well, this is the time now where they've got to be a bit patient. They need to wait for cooldowns. At the least, when they do get moving again, they're going to have maybe a 50-second window where JG won't have chrono. But they have to act fast. They are lacking, like, aggressive forward wards. There's so many sentries here from XERXIA just to ensure their triangles never blocked off or never monitored by the side of RSG, and they've just done such a fantastic job of ensuring that they still have their jungle under their hold here.
Bottom lane, XERXIA, Osija Bonbon will try to go after the homing missile, but he's going to get stunned by it as now the Rolling Thunder is there. The Gyrocopter being locked down. There might be a one-for-one trade as T-Heat. No, he's going to be fine. He'll stick charge up. Xiao Yu unable to find it, but in the meantime, Rupido is going to drop in the Batrider. That is actually a better trade again for RSG. They find a core for support this time around.
Managed to really isolate and split that up. And Rupido, considering this game, isn't really the richest target in the world. But a kill, it's a kill. You need everything you can take here on RSG. And you are buying space. You drag a lot of heroes down. But away from MKS, allowing this Morphling to keep trying to get that build up. Deso fully up on Ken, though. So the damage output of the TA skyrocketed, and you have that double damage rune available here for Ken as well, if you do want to make a move on that next chrono. And JG does look like that BKB is lining up first before the Maelstrom, so he just understands that he doesn't care about damage, he doesn't care about any of that. He's got the Gyrocopter with Rocket Barrage, which as long as it's turned on in chrono, you're fine. You've got the TA outside. You don't need damage this game, you need to initiate. And he is kind of lining up for that timing already.
That he is. You kind of wonder as well, like, you look back at the Morphling here, John. MKS really starting to catch up now. Starting to feel a little bit scarier as time goes on for XERXIA. So MKS, he's been missing off the map for quite a while. Farm top, second in net worth, only to Ken's TA. And Ken is still doing a great job of just, you know, kind of escalating here on this Temper Assassin. But T-Heat, bottom lane, going to get caught. Meanwhile, Roger is going to drop to JG, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 so far. In fact, never mind. Xiao Bonbon also goes down. Ken, he had a double damage rune. With the Death Slayer, it's just so much damage from the TA. That's going to be a positive trade this time for XERXIA.
Works out in their favor to find some good punishment. Roger just a little bit far out there on the map, maybe trying to control up that triangle. Gets punished nicely by the output on JG. The side of XERXIA, again, this lead isn't quite growing, so the side of RSG is kind of finding and working that map just as effectively, but the lead is growing on Ken. It is sacrificing everyone else's farm, in particular Rupido, but we have seen XERXIA again with Ken's TA. They just build their draft, build their gameplay around him, just rely on him to carry through for the team, and he does have his blink up. They can be much more aggressive now with Ken. A smoke out from RSG though.
Yeah, here we go. 4-man smoke. RSG. What can they get done? They want to try and abuse the coil. They want to abuse the Mortimer's Kisses within that coil. The Tombstone as well. MKS, he's not going to join the team. There's just no need for him to be there. They're going to maybe find Ken. That's a big target. But they won't run up to the high ground yet. It's only Roger. No rewards to scout this out either. In fact, XERXIA, they're the ones with the observer ward on that cliff side. So they've got the vision advantage. They'll see the smoke broken, blink out immediate, and now JG, he's going to jump in. A great chrono into the cooldown, but where's the follow-up damage? It's not there yet. In fact, never mind. The lasso's out. They've got Roger. They've got XE MKS, he's going to join and try to salvage the situation, but it's not looking good. He's copping too much damage. Ken rips him a new one. Zhao Yu, the only survivor on the Pango. They don't check for the observer ward. That ward, it won them the fight on XERXIA.
Oh, yeah, they just managed to dodge out all the spells. They get a big chrono out, and they just get the control. There was no escape angle out there for XLearn, and that's straight into the Roche for the side of XERXIA. All the damage in the world with Ken here. Secondary life, more than likely to go Ken's way as well. So everything you could possibly ask for XERXIA coming out here in game number 2. 6-15, 5k lead off the back of that big fight. And RSG, they're not completely out of the game yet. They still have some play left, but the execution is just falling way flat. XERXIA looks a lot cleaner right now with how they're grouping up, playing with their timings, getting the vision on the map, and just working this farm. Like, RSG just hasn't punished. We're 20 minutes in. They don't have any forward wards. They're having to plant really defensive in this game.
They are. It's not a good sign when you do have to plant defensive wards with a draft like this. Zhao Yu, look at the damage from Ken. You've got to be cautious, but it's a great stun location. Ken, he's got the Aegis up. Coil will lock him down. That's going to be the first line. They don't have kisses, though. I don't think they can keep going. In fact, XERXIA, they're the ones to try and force the fight. Zhao Yu, he's the target. Fisher does land and does actually help take out Zhao Yu. That's the Pango gone. So they got the Aegis. You give up your Pango. I'm not sure if you'd really call that worth, John, but it's something.
Yeah, it's something. I think just ensuring that the secondary life for Ken isn't there at least lightens the threat of a high ground push. You should be able to defend, and the side of XERXIA probably doesn't want to risk something like that without the secondary life for their TA. Kisses expended early just to clear out this push.
Yeah, that's not it. The thing is, the kisses are too important during these fights. Like, how many times have we seen Coil committed but no kisses available? If you don't have the kisses, you can't fight. And you're getting to the point now where BKBs are up on JG, so he's not even going to care about the kisses anymore.
He's just going to be well protected. Even Ken just lacking that Ogre Axe now for his own full BKB. And once that spell immunity's in place, it's not just the Snapfire who has a bad time. The Pango suddenly doesn't have as much impact. XLearn's not going to be doing damage. They're mainly magical right now.
That they are. Rupido able to punish Roger once again. This time it's a great Batrider performance from Rupido. Turns out the Nyx Assassin was the problem. XERXIA really abusing their draft now. It's RSG. They're the ones that need to try and find a way to fight back. BKB is incoming on the TA, but he doesn't have it yet. Coil is going to be committed with the Spirit Vessel timing, but now the Chrono. It's going to lock down one. It's the Pango, but they found Ken. Oh, he had the Courier coming in with the BKB as well. That's the worst part. A bit of an opening now for RSG. Is they'll keep chasing. They'd love a Void kill. He has his own BKB, though. He should be okay. And he will back his way out. In goes Roger. Chasing down the Batrider now. Do they have a stun? Yes, they do. MKS is there. Rupido will drop. Suddenly, RSG, they found an opening.
Yeah, they make it work. That's some great flanking out from Xiao Yu with his blink roll. Manages to turn around. The Chrono comes up. JG couldn't even focus on Xiao Yu because he didn't pop his BKB. He actually got hit by the roll in the Chrono. So he couldn't focus in. He couldn't go for the kill.
They'll at least find Lucify as well here, John. That's a good point as well. Like, you only catch the Pango on the Chrono, it's not going to be good news. Like, you stop the Rolling Thunder, but he really wanted that puck.
Yeah, and that's their best lockdown for the puck, outside of the lasso. JG?
Oh boy, he's had to commit his BKB. No Chrono to fight back. MKS, he'll go for the man fight. And RSG, I mean, they're going to be feeling confident for the next 70 seconds with that BKB off cooldown, or rather on cooldown. Though I say that, here comes Ken. He's got his own BKB, but the Rolling Thunder is going to connect in time. Ken forced the BKB up. Zhao Yu, he'll end up going down. Now Roger, well, he'll try to run, but there's no surviving this. Ken able to find some sweet revenge as he does respawn. Meanwhile, they've even got Zhao Bonbon. On the Snapfire, he's going nowhere but down.
Yeah, they punish out the side of RSG. They didn't focus in on the objectives. They tried to swing. At least they find that tier 2 top. So they can kind of try to reel in some control on the outpost. Gonna have to take control of their own jungle first. Immediate smoke out from XERXIA as well. They want to find MKS, and he's all by himself down here.
This will be a massive pickoff. Jump in, Rupido. He's got the lasso. There is no strength morph, and he is gone. MKS down for 48 seconds. XERXIA giving it back the way of RSG. Not allowing them to take control of this game number 2. Desperately trying to force this to a game 3. Is now XE trying to avoid the void. Oh, he doesn't jaunt away. XE he'll go the other way. Zhao Yu's there to help out, but the chrono, it's up. Disarm is there. JG, he still should have the damage with the phase shift. Makes it in time. XE timing everything perfectly as JG. He'll keep chasing, but they look like they're going to miss out. Rupido on the chase now. XE he's not safe yet. Meanwhile, towards the south, the team fight has broken out. The Puck versus Batrider still chasing. Meanwhile, Zhao Bonbon, he does die to Teehee, so they find at least a Snapfire. But that was a chrono committed, and they have not found the Puck yet. The Rupido, he's still trying, and XE finally spotted. Rupido with a hand up, says bye-bye to his good friend and XE. And eventually, they salvage a pretty bad-looking situation.
XERXIA turns things around. RSG doesn't quite connect, and they get a little bit greedy, especially on MKS. He's not protected in that area by himself, with the rest of his team down. Smoke play is just very clean out from XERXIA. Oh, maybe more.
Rupido, yeah, Roger. He's an easy target. He will drop another one for XERXIA. AK advantage now. They are looking fantastic. But MKS, he is desperately trying to farm up and keep up into the Aghanim Scepter, but he is so far behind when you consider how far ahead Ken is.
Yeah, he is lagging behind. 6k lead for Ken. One big item on top in comparison to the Morphling. And at the least, Ken's Ags isn't too far off, only about 600 gold away, but the map isn't very safe to get that farm. There's not too much forward vision left here from the side of XERXIA. They do have this really good high ground ward on the triangle. But you do have forward vision now as well from the side of RSG. It is behind the tier 2. XERXIA's not even playing in that area. Next rush is going to show itself, at least the timer will, in about a minute here. So RSG probably will want to at least have that Ags up at that point, and just how much impact the Ags will have in this game is a different question, although.
Rolling Thunder forced out. Rupido, he does have a BKB, but does cop the stun initially. Does be forced to pop the BKB as MKS has jumped in, but the lasso, it's going to grab him up. JG, he's got no chrono yet, though. 15 seconds away. The team fight, it will continue. Back in onto Teehee, the gyrocopter. He's going to drop low, but gets the call down. Into the Dream Core, they caught the TA. But they will not follow up. JG now has chrono back up. So scary times. The stun is there. Zhao Yu. He'll go for the roll-up, try to get away from JG. Oh, but the cookie! Oh, it might work out, though! It actually ends up working out! Even JG didn't expect that one. Neither did we, to be fair. As Ken, he'll go for a run now. Echo Slam Lucify. He'll try to turn. They do take down Zhao Yu and the Pango. XE dropping low. Wolf phase shift and jaunt away with the orb, but the chase is going. They want that puck. Rupido's gonna get him. Lucify able to turn now as the cookie out from Zhao Bonbon, trying to buy space for MKS. And he does buy that space, but there's 4 down for the side of RSG now.
A lot of back and forth there. Lucify again with a really good blink reveal out, getting a decent enough slam, but the follow-up stun onto XERXIA was the big one. XERXIA misses out on the slam, but jumps right back in for the rest of the stuns. And cops enough damage that he had to force himself back. They got the fresh hack on MKS though. They're going to try to reveal it, but it's a bit of a risky spot.
He's there, he gets locked down. Homing missile also going to connect, but he does strength more. XERXIA still unable to go for that tier 2 mid, but they're going to find a double damage rune. Here we go. Ken, He'll happily take that one. Roger, he's going to take a gank here. Xiao Yu, oh boy. He did not get the blink up to the high ground. Rolling Thunder expended once again. Luckily, not the longest cooldown, but... well, if Roshan was to spawn up right now, you'd be kind of very upset as RSG. Thing is, Roshan is still a minute and a half away. XERXIA, they saw the Rolling Thunder used. They want to force a fight.
Yeah, they've got the chrono ready on JG. They see a prime target in XERXIA. A one-man chrono here wouldn't be too bad.
Orb. XERXIA, they shift on CJG. Fisher off the mark. Well, not really out either. Lucify, he'll keep chasing. XERXIA, he'll try for the TP out. Lucify, not going to try for the blind Fisher. It's all about buying time for RSG now, but for XERXIA, it's all about this Roshan. You've just got to make sure that you give RSG no chance at this Roche, and then high ground's almost guaranteed for them.
It opens up massively. Like, the defensive fight, RSG is pretty tough, although.
Yeah, they found Xiao Yu again. Rupido, he's been so good on this Batrider. Finding another great lasso. That'll be Xiao Yu down for 40 seconds, and Roshan, it's up in 25. So you're going to have a bit of an opening there where the Pango's just not going to be up to try and force a fight with his team. In fact, Fisher out, Roger! Roger gets deleted.
Yeah, it's just one hit out from Ken. He dishes out a lot of damage now. Have to be careful.
Buyback is there. Roger is going to try and move in for the fight. Kisses Chrono.
Oh my
JG,
God.
he found 3 targets, and look at the damage! Lines him up perfectly for the side blades. Tips out for JG. RSG, interesting fight to try and force as well. Like, you didn't have the Pango. You forced Roger to buy back. The Roshan wasn't up yet anyway. Now it is, but they don't even need it. They'll go high ground.
Yeah, maybe want a couple more buybacks if they can get it out. Again, the hold of RSG isn't the best. They pay respect, they go back. Roshan is still there for the taking. Respawns are way too long to contest that. And the Rolling Thunder was expended once more from Xiao Yu, so even he doesn't have any play to try and steal here. And Ken, with his output, just going to melt through this objective. And XERXIA find himself in a very dominant position here in Game 2, Mike. 11-35, 16k lead for XERXIA. As RSG, after that spectacular Game 1, with a slight draft change, going with the same openings, but switching out for the Snapfire. I mean, the presence from Xiao Bon, it's still somewhat there, but he's not able to stop what XERXIA wants to do, and the coordination from XERXIA is kicking in. Still, smoke out here from RSG.
Yeah, 5-man smoke. They've got to try something. They know the Aegis is the way of XERXIA, but they need to go for some kind of surprise initiation. Ken, he may get spotted here on the TA. Pings around. That's the target they want to jump. Blow up that Aegis, Ken. He'll pop the BKB and Rupido. He's there with the lasso, and now the Echo Slam. Lucify with the Fisher as well. Saving the life of Ken for the first time. MKS, he's still chasing. He can't get the TA, though. The Aegis remains intact. And RSG need to run. They need to run real quick. MKS, still trying. Ken does move back in with a refraction. He's feeling safe. Meanwhile, Roger, he's going to die to JG on the void. There's JG. He'll go for another. Onto the snap by Xiao Bon has been caught out. Will Cookie down to the low ground, but has nowhere to go. JG on a double. 3 heroes down. Rupido going for a little bit more on the Batrider. Flame breaks out. MKS is still running. JG still chasing. MKS, he does make it out. But it's a 3v4 situation. XERXIA, they still have that Aegis of Ken, but it seems like Ken does need the reset.
Oh, JG.
Trouble, but no, not really. JG's gonna make it out just fine. Xiao Yu, Rolling Thunder, will force the BKB. Keep in mind, JG does have Chrono up, but is lacking mana. Now he does have said mana up. Xiao Bon trying after the Batrider, but this looks very desperate. He is going to drop in the Roshan pit. That's a dieback on Xiao Bon. He'll be down for 70. Now the counter smoke. 5-man out from XERXIA. They've got the Aegis onto Ken. In they go. They found MKS, and they are going to shred right through MKS, but no. Waveform, it's there in time. The strength morph keeping him alive, but the homing missile is going to chase him down. Not Ken. He is gone. So is Xiao Yu. Is it time to call this game? Is it over?
I don't see a good angle for them on this high ground defense, Mike. Like, they're just relying on like kisses and maybe eventual output from MKS in the middle of these fights. It's just so hard to pull off. Roger trying to stall with his body, it's not going to stop them for that long. And now it's just basically down to XERXIA to try to do something. But he's also not farmed enough in the puck to kind of be that stalling hero that you usually see towards the late game. You know, he needs his talent to be up for that. It's a pipe dream right now to hit 25 in any reasonable time. Doesn't have his Octarine to just keep spamming out the spells. So you have all the room in the world here for XERXIA to just find a set of racks, probably 2, maybe more. There's really nothing to be scared of with the Aegis with still 2 minutes left.
Maybe one more team fight left for RSG. They'll wait for everyone to respawn. The question is, will XERXIA stick around and force a fight? Like you said, Aegis up for 2 minutes. They've got time. Xiao Yu, gonna go for a Rolling Thunder. Ken, get 4 staff down into the Meld Strike. Xiao Yu still trying to lock him down with the Mortimer's Kisses, but they just don't have the follow-up. That's Rolling Thunder and Kisses down. XERXIA, they definitely want to force a fight now. 5-man smoker. How do you defend now as RSG? Well, they've got to try. There's no buybacks available. There's your Fisher. It caught MKS on the Morphling. He'll waveform towards the left side, however. Ken. Oh, Chrono, JG! Oh, he's got 3 targets. That's it. That has to be it. They've locked all of them down. Everyone is melting on RSG. They are not calling it yet. I suppose they don't have to, though. GG's called. There you go. RSG unable to pull off this game too, and XERXIA, they are forcing this to a game number 3 in this lower bracket final. Oh, excuse me, lower bracket quarterfinal is what I was meant to say. Of TI11C SEA qualifiers. John, I've completely lost my words, but what a game. What a game we've had.
A spectacular performance coming out from XERXIA, and they go back to comfort. You know, they give Ken that TA, a hero we know he excels on, and they shift JG onto that Faceless Void, and the synergy just works. They've got the gyro support.